Hello everyone, my name is JR Lopez Gonzalez of the PoliTikalon blog TV, and for this episode, this is actually our 10th episode, and I'm just so happy that for January, for this month, we were able to have 2 episodes for the vlog, and as always, thank you so much for your support. Now, for this particular episode, we'll be tackling on, let's just say, the fever that is sweeping the Philippines right now. And this is the Miss Universe fever, just because hours earlier, the coronation for the Miss Universe was finally concluded. And it was crazy. It was a fiesta of different beauties from all over the world here in the Philippines. And as some of my readers know, a couple of weeks ago, I happened to also cover a fashion show and, in Vigan in Northern Philippines for Miss Universe. So, it's going to be fun, especially in social media, on what people thought and what people's opinions are on, on the results of the Miss Universe. And, personally, I was a bit disappointed. Well, because Maxine Medina tried her best, but unfortunately it was not enough. And that's just how it is. Now, for this episode though, I will not be talking about the results in particular, but I'll be looking into the reasons why Filipinos are really passionate and fascinated with beauty pageants. Alright, we're back, and like what I promised, this episode talks about the fascination of the Filipino regarding beauty pageants, and just a little bit of history about this, and a little bit of cultural here. Let me just share to you that this kind of culture, the pageant culture in the Philippines, it has been in the Philippines, believe it or not, since 1908. The very first beauty pageant contest was the Miss Carnival Queen. Yeah, the title is kind of strange, but that's the name of the contest. It was actually the main highlight of a couple of days in 1908, set up by the Americans, and the goal of this kind of occasion is to celebrate U.S. and Philippine harmony and good relationship. So the very first title holder was Miss Pura Villanueva. She is an Ilongga, and that's 109 years ago. So that is the very first beauty pageant contest in the Philippines. And for the international competitions though, I believe it was, the Philippines started competing globally for beauty pageants in 1952. That was the very first time, and a couple of years after that, I believe 12 years after that, in 1964, Gemma Cruz Araneta was the very first winner of an international beauty contest, and it was for Miss International in 1964. And if you look here on the left side, you will see that I had a picture taken with her, and I happened to talk to her, and she remains very, very classy, and she's very pretty, even though she's what's her age? 70? Imagine that she's still very, very nice. Anyway, going back to, the cultural background and historical background of beauty pageantry in the Philippines, it is a common sight here. And I think for expats, for foreigners who happen to stay here for quite a long time, they will notice that we have pageants all over, from one barangay to another. And barangay, by the way, is the smallest political unit here in the Philippines. So from one barangay to another, it's very common that, in celebration of a fiesta, the founding anniversary of this barangay, it is always the highlight. There will always be a beauty competition. It can be with, say, with little kids or members of the LGBT or men, straight men dressing in drag, or just the plain old beauty pageants for young women. So this is very common here. And after the barangay level, if you are the winner for the barangay, then you will be competing in the city level or the town level. And then after that, if you you were lucky, then you'll move on to represent the town or the city in the provincial level. So that is how it is. And then afterwards, of course, you'll be representing it's either the region, and then finally, the national level. So we have this kind of setup for a long, long time. Even though, I can remember when I was very, very small, it is like a common sight here in the Philippines to have these kinds of competitions. So, maybe I would consider this as part of, the bees, the bees here in the Philippines, like boxing, basketball, and third would probably be beauty pageants. So it is a common sight here, and it's part of our culture. In fact, if for those readers who, for those who were able to follow episode 8, I believe I did review. I had a reaction with all the trailers for the Metro Manila Film Festival. Do you remember that? And if you did, for that Metro Manila Film Fest last December, there were 2 movies there that talks about life in, having a pageant of some sort. One movie was, the first one, Die Beautiful, right? And then the second one was Sunday Beauty Queen. So it talks about beauty pageants, and these are award-winning movies during the MMFF last December, and it talks about, beauty pageants in the Philippines. Another sign that I could say that we are really hyped and very excited for pageantry is, a couple of days ago, I think 3 or 4 days ago, before today, Monday, there was even like a bill proposed by a member of the Congress declaring this day to be a holiday just because, it's the Miss Universe Day in Manila. But, for some reason, of course, Malacanang did not agree to this one, so it did not push through. But that just shows you how crazy Filipinos are with our pageants. Okay, now, on the second part, though, of this vlog, I'll share to you what I think makes the Filipina strong contenders in the international global beauty pageant competitions. And let's look at the stats, okay? And here, as you can see, this talks about the number of titles per country. And you will see here 3 countries: Venezuela, United States, and the Philippines. And top 1 is Venezuela. Venezuela has 22 titles from the 4 major beauty pageant competitions. Miss Universe, Miss World, Miss International, Miss Earth. And second place is United States with 14. Okay. And the Philippines is running very close. We have 13 major titles. So, 3 for Miss Universe, 1 for Miss World, 6 for Miss International, and 3 for Miss Earth. So that is the standing, okay? That is the current standing of the number of titles per country. So we are running third, and not bad considering that, there are a lot of countries participating to all of these beauty competitions. Now, as I was saying though, I think 2010 was the start of everything for the winning streak of Filipinos for global competitions, specifically maybe for Miss Universe, because back in 2010 when Venus Ra participated, every year after that we placed top 5, runner-up, fourth runner-up, first runner-up every year after 2010, and this was culminated with Pia Wurtzbach's win, controversial win with Steve Harvey messing it up in the announcement of the winners. So that's it, and just so unfortunate that Maxine did not make it for this year's Miss Universe, but definitely shows you that Philippines is actually a powerhouse for beauty pageants. So I actually have 3 reasons why I think Filipinas have this kind of passion and determination to really, win and become strong contenders. And first of all, in my opinion, is, well, obviously the motivation. There are a lot of motivations for people to join beauty pageants, but in the Philippines, aside from, the obvious influence, fame, and opportunities, money is, I think, one of the best, motivations for these young women to participate in beauty competitions. You see, like what I mentioned, for every level, like barangay, town, city, province, region, until the nationals, obviously it's a contest, so there are great prizes at stake there. So that's one way of for them to get by, and I think that's one of the main motivations for Filipinas to participate, and crossing their fingers that they would win in the competitions. And I think another good motivation is the competitive spirit of the Filipina. Filipinas are pretty much competitive, and especially for these individual contests. We have this kind of stage culture that we wanted to be known. We wanted to compete in a level where all people are actually looking into you, and they focus your attention though. So I think this is one of the things that shows us how motivated these women are. Now, number two, I think, is the strict beauty camps that we have here in the Philippines. In my opinion, beauty trainings here in the Philippines are one of the toughest, and these takes years. Learning how to pose, for posture, how to answer Q&A, how to walk. So all these things are actually taught in beauty universities, which are getting quite popular now in the Philippines. You will have coaches for language, coaches for standing, for walking. So this is very, very common now, and as far as I know, some Latin American delegates and aspirants would actually really go to the Philippines and come here and learn from these beauty camps. And another one, on the topic of strict trainings, we do have as well various beauty pageant franchises in the Philippines that are quite strict, very, very competitive every year, Pilipinas, Mutyanang Pilipinas, Miss World Philippines, Miss Earth Philippines. So these competitions, these national pageants are very, very common as well. So, filtering just for this level, they will be filtering out all these women so that we are quite sure that the women that we will be sending to international competitions are really actually good. So that's one thing. And I think this is the takeaway, number three, for the my reasons why Filipino women are the strongest contenders, is our natural beauty. Filipino women, for me, have this different kind of appeal because of maybe our influences from different countries. You see, we have been under the Americans, under the Spanish, under Japanese, and genetically we also have Chinese blood within us. So that is what makes, I think, that distinct Filipina beauty that is quite universal. It has a universal appeal to it, and add to that the predisposition of a typical Filipina, where a Filipina is usually very, very cheerful and friendly. And most of all, we also have that good command of English, so that might be, an advantage, for some. Well, because we have this ability to answer Q&A in our second tongue, so which can be, a double-edged sword, of course, because sometimes, what happened to Miss Venus Ra, there was a struggle because she was using English, and she ended up using major, so that was a major disappointment as well for the country. The country that is basking for their glory. So these are the three reasons why I think Filipinas have the edge for beauty pageant competitions. And now, I did send this question to social media. I posted a question in Filipino asking, why they think we are so fond of beauty pageants. So here are some answers, and let me just read to you some of these answers from Instagram and Facebook. Okay, so let's start with from Instagram. We have here, I asked this question: why are Filipinos so fond of beauty pageants? And one answer is from Dolero, and says here, sobrang competitive ang mga Pinoy. And it means that we are very competitive as a country, as a people. And another message here is from in Instagram, still from Hera Espinosa. She said here, because it's one of the things that we take pride in, representing our nation. Despite of our cultural diversities and political differences, we managed to compete together as one and fight confidently because we are not judged by our economic status and political influences, but through our beauty and intelligence as Filipinos. Okay. And let's have, this one is from Facebook. It's in Japanese. Kinbari Espona. Kimberly Espona, maybe. She said here, in Filipino, kaya mahilig ang mga Filipino sa beauty pageants sa kadahilan ng gusto nila ipamalas ang kagandahan nating mga Filipino at may pagmalaki sa iba. Hindi lang basta sa ganda, pero sa aking talino rin na ating taglay. Okay, in English, roughly it means that, she says, the reason why Filipinos are fond of beauty pageants is for the reason that they wanted to show their beauty and to show it to others and to be proud of this beauty. And not just for beauty, but also for intelligence that they show, that we have, and we show it to others. Okay, and from Instagram as well, we have Kath D_Oliva, Kath D Oliva. She says here, we are fond of beauty pageants because we are appreciative in nature. We are also competitive, smart, and beautiful inside out. That is why we stand out most of the time in everything. And finally, Frances Saavedra, in Visayan, she said, kay maura daw makadato sa ilaha, or roughly translated, because for them this is the only means that would make them richer. Okay, but to all of my followers on Instagram and Facebook, thank you so much for those comments. And let's make this interactive, of course. In the comment section below, please tell me and share to us why you think Filipinas have the edge, what makes them strong contenders every year for global beauty pageant competitions. And that ends this video. Thank you so much for all the support. I am overwhelmed and happy to all the responses that you've been giving for our vlog episodes. This is now the 10th episode and the second episode for January alone. So thank you so much. And I'll see you next time. Please do not forget our social media accounts on SoundCloud, on Facebook. Of course, we have a page there as well. Instagram, and our blog as well. And please, if you have not yet subscribed to this video, please do click subscribe and click the bell there, because it will actually tell you if there are latest notifications about my channel. So thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Bye.